Tara Jacobson, Paperly People. So today we're going to be talking about how to write an effective blog post or sales letter by knowing who you're writing to. And it's really interesting. Yesterday I was meeting with a friend and we were talking about selling a Swiffer refill. And she didn't really, she knew what she wanted to write about, but she didn't know who she was writing it for. And I think that if you don't know who you're writing it for, it makes it much harder. Then you have to do a lot of work. But if you know who you're writing your blog post or sales page for, then it kind of just writes itself. It makes it much easier to be able to start to create bullet points and all the nifty copywriting tricks that everybody talks about. So we're going to be talking today about who you're writing this post or sales letter for. And you can swing back around to the name, but you need to know if it's a man or a woman. And I totally get that your product will work for anybody because everybody thinks that. But you need to know, are you in this sales letter or this blog post writing to a man or a woman primarily? Are they a senior, middle-aged? Are they young and hip? That'll affect how you're going to write it. You wouldn't write the same kind of sales letter to a middle-aged person as you would to somebody who's in their mid-20s, something like that. Do they have kids? What are their ages? Do they have pets? Are they married? Are they happily married? Are they unhappily married? What is their occupation? Do they have a business? Are they retired? Are they a homemaker? Are they a worker? All these things start to inform how you're going to write to them. So how you would write to a young mother would be entirely different as to how you would write to somebody who has an actual job and has to work for the man. What is their income per year? I like to have this one because I need to make sure that the person I'm writing to has enough money to buy what I want to sell them. And what are their interests? So this is really good. Let's talk about a fella who has a motorcycle. So his interest is his motorcycle. He likes to work in his garage. He likes to hang out and drink beer with his friends out there. He's actually hiding from his wife, who he's happily married to, but that's one of the things that makes their relationship really good, is that they both have their own free time. Those are the kinds of things that you want to start fleshing out for your person. You want them to feel like a real person that you know. Okay, what are their pain points? And this is the things that they don't have right now that your product will help to solve. So it could be that they're spending too much money on Swiffer refills. They don't understand how to, effectively market on the internet. She wants to be good at making jewelry or how to paint, things that these are all the things that they want to know how to be good at. So depending on what you're selling, if you're selling insurance, he may be thinking, I need to find a good rep, or I need to find somebody who's really knowledgeable about how to write a will. Those are the things that they're thinking of. This last part we're going to come back to. That's why it says do last. Okay, what are they going to really be using your product for? So this is something like saving money or feeling cool and hip. So a lot of times it can feel, if you're selling something like little necklaces, which is one of the things that I sell, that it doesn't really solve a problem, right? Or what they will really be using it for. So for me, my little necklaces are made especially for women that are in, obviously, because they're necklaces. I guess men could wear them, but I have never sold to a man. And they are so that you can have a little necklace that says your business name or your occupation, and they will be using it for networking so that they don't have to feel so awkward if they're introverts like me. It could be to be entertained. It could just be to have some time, if you're writing a fiction novel, it's so that they can be entertained, so that they can get away from it all for a while, so that they can take a few hours for themselves. It could be to have somebody like you more. You could be trying to get your husband or your wife or, your parents to like you more, to impress your boss if you have a job. And then you want to know what problem it really does solve, like exactly what it will do. She'll be able to write her blog post faster. You'll be able to talk intelligently at your next church social about scripture. It is going to be something that will be the outcome of what happens once you use this. You'll be able to talk to people more comfortably at networking. That's what's going to happen. And then the last part of it is you're going to write what she's thinking. And I always tell to women, so I'm always going to use the adjective or the pronoun she, but yours could be a he. And so one example is that when we were trying to figure out how to sell Swiffer refills, this immediately came to mind, a young woman named Stephanie, and her main goal in life is to keep a nice house. She's a young mother, she's stuck at home, and she feels like her self-worth is all wrapped up in having a nice house. And she feels like she's not doing a good job at that, right? Because she needs to have a solution to her problem. So her mother-in-law is also a little, not nice to her. And her husband's pissed because their grocery bill is atrocious because she's buying these Swiffer refills all the time to try to keep her floor clean. She has a dog and 2 kids, so there's always something on her floor and it's freaking her out. And so the other half of it is that she's young, right? So she's in that millennial age range, and she doesn't like the fact that she keeps buying and throwing away all these Swiffer refills, but she has a problem. She needs to keep her floor clean. So the reusable but still disposable Swiffer refill would be a great help to her. Now, it's not just for products, although products sometimes feel a little bit easier to do. You can do this for your services too, or your online courses or anything like that. So my second example is Bob, and he's a retired art teacher. And one thing that's wrong with this description is that Bob wants to sell an information product. Well, he doesn't probably, as I would go through this, I would start thinking, well, I bet you Bob doesn't know that it's really an information product. He just wants to know how to teach how to get kids interested in art online, right? So that's where you need to realize that your verbiage and the knowledge that you have can sometimes get in the way, because if you were writing a blog post or a sales letter and you're using terms like information marketing or information product, you could be turning off Bob because he doesn't know what you're talking about. So then he's going to go find somebody who said it even more clearly to him. He knows he needs a website. He knows that maybe he wants to sell an ebook or he wants to do something. He's good on Facebook. His students talk to him. He gets lots of likes on his post, but he doesn't know if he can actually figure out how to sell something online. He doesn't want to look dumb. He feels like if he can do it online, then he won't feel as stupid because nobody will see that he doesn't know what he's talking about. So if you were selling an information product that was for very beginners on how to do it, you would want to write a sales letter that would attract somebody like Bob and use verbiage that talked about the fact that, this is really simple. I make it step by step. You're not going to get confused. You don't have to be worried that you won't understand it. And so once you know this person and you know what scares him and what makes him sad and how he feels or how she feels, you're going to be able to write a sales letter or a blog post much more easily. So hopefully that helps. Tara Jacobson, Paperly People.